In at number 10, 50 Cent versus Wendy Williams. The main reason why this is so shocking is because when could you ever imagine a talk show host getting into a beef with a rapper? It just doesn't seem like their paths should be crossing. Allegedly, the feuding started after 50 threw a tycoon pool party but kicked Wendy Williams out when she arrived. Apparently, she still found a way to get back inside, and later on during an interview with Hollywood Unlocked, Williams said that her only reason for being there was so that her son could meet Snoop Dogg on his 19th birthday. Kinda sweet, but if you're not invited, why would you go? Although 50 Cent did not care what her reasoning was. He posted a video of Wendy being spoken to by his security team and then said, "You can't just show up to my party." It would then become a war of words and memes back and forth, with many saying that 50 Cent maybe took it to a place of bullying. However, the two have since made amends, with Wendy Williams using the old adage, "You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar." And I guess that worked on him. In at number 9, Kylie Jenner versus Jordyn Woods. This is your classic homewrecker case that not only ruined a family but destroyed the friendships between Kylie and Jordyn as well. Fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians were shocked upon finding out that Khloe's baby daddy Tristan Thompson had cheated on her with Jenner's best friggin' friend. The feud went back and forth on social media for all of us to see as well. Woods ended up admitting her mistake and how she handled the whole situation when she appeared on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith. However, the Kardashians weren't letting it go that easily. As the summer episodes of the show started to air, each one repeatedly relitigated the situation in an attempt to turn their fans against Jordyn Woods. To add insult to injury, Khloe tweeted this out: "Why are you lying, Jordyn Woods? If you're going to try and save yourself by going public instead of calling me privately to apologize first, at least be honest about your story. By the way, you are the reason my family broke up." I mean, she's kind of right. She's kind of right. In at number 8, Katy Perry versus Taylor Swift. This was one of the most talked about celebrity feuds at the time, with both fan bases glued to every lyric, every song, anything that came out between these two, just to kind of understand the beef that was happening. It all began when the two started fighting over a backup dancer, believe it or not, and the feud only got worse when Taylor Swift released the song Bad Blood, which included details about her fight with Perry. That's when the diss tracks really started to pop off between these two pop icons. Yeah, the real pop wars isn't Coke or Pepsi, it was Perry and Swiftie. In response to this, Perry told Entertainment Weekly, "There is no one thing that's calling out any one person," adding, "Everything has a reaction or consequences, so don't forget about that. Okay, honey?" Okay, but them's fighting words. Eventually, Katy did apologize, and after sending Taylor a literal gift basket, like she extended an actual olive branch, they ended up making amends and even recording a song together called "You Need to Calm Down," which defines this entire feud.
At number 7, we have Vin Diesel and The Rock. You know the saying, "Don't turn your back on family"? Well, the stars Vin Diesel and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that statement doesn't exist. The two actors made their first on-screen appearance with each other in 2011 while filming The Fast Five. The Rock joined the set as Luke Hobbs, an agent pursuing the Fast and Furious crew for their various crimes against every law enforcement agency across the world. Everything seemed fine when he returned for the 6th and 7th entry of the series. However, in 2016, Dwayne went to his Instagram to refer to unnamed members of the cast as cowardly, timid people. Rumors then started to circulate that he was insulting Vin Diesel. A few days after filming for The Fate of the Furious and it wrapped up, Johnson posted another Instagram thanking some of his castmates by name, but didn't mention Vin Diesel. While The Rock never identified his target, Vin Diesel would later come to confirm it was in fact him in an Instagram video. Later, the duo's co-star, Michelle Rodriguez, would come to confirm that there was tension between the men on set, but it was nothing more than any kind of disagreement any close friend could have.
Number 6, Olivia Wilde and Shia LaBeouf. Shia was initially cast as a lead in Olivia's movie Don't Worry Darling, which she was directing. But soon after production started, news broke out that she had fired him and replaced him with Harry Styles. Olivia then said that she fired him due to a no a-hole policy that she has while directing. She told Variety that his process was not conducive to the ethos that she demands in her productions. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require a combative energy. She said that she needed to protect the cast from Shia, but Shia was not happy with this side of the story and decided to publicly expose her for lying. He told Variety that he quit her film because he couldn't find time to rehearse with the cast, and in the most explosive revenge move ever, he then leaked a video of Olivia practically begging him to stay in the film and made it clear that he was never fired in the first place. The video went viral and the result was utter chaos.
Number 5. Drake and Kanye West. When the friendship and working relationship between Kanye and Drake abruptly dissolved following a project the two were working on, it became nearly impossible for fans to keep up on their latest feuds. Back in 2018, things took a sharp turn for the duo as the two began to proceed to hurl insults back and forth in a form of diss tracks. On one of these tracks, it even revealed Drake had a son. Drake felt like he was betrayed by Kanye when he went behind his back regarding his child, because Drake confided in Kanye just before that he was having trouble with his son's mother. The fire reignited between the stars after Drake started following Kim on social media after the reality star split from Kanye. Kanye wrote to his Instagram about the matter to say, "Imagine having a problem with somebody and they follow your wife on Instagram." However, Drake seemingly went after Kanye on his album Certified Lover Boy in September of 2021. The two have since seemed to have put their past behind them.
Number 4. Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. The actors are both well known as comedic heavyweights who helped launch SNL into mainstream success. But in 1978, when Chase returned as a guest host, the two of them got into a physical altercation and began insulting one another. Murray first confronted Chase, telling him that everyone hated him. They then got into a screaming match which started a physical fight between the two men. SNL star Jane Curtin witnessed the fist fight and said, "It was sad and painful and awful. It was that same kind of tension you would get in a family. It was uncomfortable. I think they both knew the one thing that they could say to one another that would really hurt the most." In a 2012 interview, Murray said that he and Chase were friends again. He told Empire, "It was really a Hollywood fight, a don't touch my face kind of fight. It was an opedial thing, a rupture, because we all felt mad that he had left us, and somehow I was the anointed avenging angel who had to speak for everyone. But Chevy and I are friends now. It's all fine."
In at number 3, Solange and Jay-Z. This 2014 elevator incident is one of the most legendary of all time because it shows never to mess with the Knowles family. After the Met Gala in 2014, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange stepped into an elevator, and when Solange thought nobody else was watching, she started to attack Jay-Z, hitting him with her hands and purse multiple times, while Beyonce just stood there and watched, making it clear that whatever she was doing was supported by his wife, Beyonce. After Beyonce admitted that Jay cheated on her album Lemonade, it's clear that this is when Solange found out about the cheating, and that's how she decided to take out her anger. Jay-Z opened up about the incident in 2017, saying he and Solange are totally fine now and he views her as his sister, so thankfully this incident did not cause long-term damage. In at number 2, Drake and Pusha T. This feud is so messy it started all the way back in 2011, and some could say it's still not over. It all started when Drake released the song Dreams Money Can Buy in 2011, with verses that many thought contained disses aimed at Pusha T. This started a flood of diss tracks between the two, with both rappers taking clear shots at the other. The two kept trading diss tracks for a few years until 2018, when Pusha T released the single Infrared, which allegedly accused Drake of not writing his own raps. Even though many on Drake's team have denied this, the rumor stuck, and many people to this day still claim that Drake has ghostwriters. But it did not stop. The biggest hit to Drake's rep came from the next diss track, The Story of Adidon, which not only accused Drake of having a secret child, but the cover art also showed young Drake in. As of now, the feud has settled and the pair no longer make diss tracks about one another, but I'm sure there's still a lot of tension. And finally, at number 1, Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. As a huge fan of Sex and the City, this feud hurts my heart, and I really wish they could have made up so Samantha would have been in the reboot. Probably would have made it a lot better. Rumors of tension between the women didn't start until the show ended, and Parker shaded Cattrall by saying she was the reason the third Sex and the City movie was not made. Later on, rumors swirled that the movie was scrapped just days before filming due to Kim Cattrall's refusal to sign on unless Warner Brothers produced other projects that she had in development. Later on in an interview, Kim said that SJP, quote, really could have been nicer about everything, hinting at tension between them. But things were turned up a notch when Cattrall's brother passed away in 2018, and Parker shared her condolences on Instagram. Kim Cattrall did not like this seemingly fake response and clapped back, quote, "You are not my family, you are not my friend. So I'm ready to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona." As of now, the feud is clearly not resolved, and the tension is why Samantha is not in the HBO Max reboot, and just like that. Let me know below if you saw the reboot. Personally, like, I hated and loved it at the same time. Like, it was so bad, but I couldn't stop watching it.
Number 10. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. For over 4 years, these men have clashed over just about everything, and they haven't exactly tried to keep their rivalry a secret. It started in 2016 when a SpaceX rocket explosion destroyed a $200 million Facebook satellite. Zuckerberg issued a statement saying he was deeply disappointed about the launch and called SpaceX a failure. 2 years later, Musk reignited the feud and tweeted, "Yeah, my fault for being an idiot. We did give them a free launch to make up for it, and I think they had some insurance." But when Facebook became embroiled in the Cambridge Analytica scandal, things got a whole lot worse. Musk publicly deleted all of his company's Facebook pages and said, "It's not a political statement, and I didn't do this because someone dared me to do it. I just don't like Facebook. Gives me the willies. Sorry." He also criticized Facebook's data sharing practices and shared several memes that implied the company was spying on its users. Oh, and they also got into a fight about the future of AI. So clearly they have never seen eye to eye.
At number 9, we have MGK and Eminem. No one can forget these two's epic diss tracks posted by the rapper MGK and Eminem. The feuds date all the way back to 2012 when MGK tweeted about Eminem's daughter Haley. And it wasn't exactly what a father of a teenage girl would want to read on the internet. Now, after the two's followed over a song MGK was featured on for Tech Nine's 2018 No Reason, in the lyrics he threw some shade at Eminem by referring to his track Rap God. MGK would say, "To remind you all, you just rap and you're not a rap god." Eminem would later clap back with his own diss track called Not Alike, where he made fun of MGK featured on Tech Nine's song. In an interview later, Eminem would confirm that the two's conflict had way more to do with Haley, and it was more because the rapper said he was the greatest rapper alive since his favorite rapper banned him from Shade 45. When MGK released his diss track Rap Devil, Eminem came to destroy Kelly's rap career with his own diss track.
Number 8. Adam Levine and Lady Gaga. The Maroon 5 frontman has had several feuds with female artists over the years, but his feud with Lady Gaga really takes the cake. He first criticized her music in 2011 when he tweeted, "Lady Gaga took Vogue and Express Yourself and put them in a blender. The result? Born This Way." Then, only 2 years later, he slammed her creative choices when she dropped her Applause video from Art Pop, which referenced several major works of art throughout history. Adam wrote, "Recycling old art for a younger generation doesn't make you an artist, it makes you an art teacher. I unabashedly love writing and performing pop music for both myself and everyone around me. That's it. It doesn't need any extra sauce." To which Lady Gaga responded by tweeting, "Uh-oh guys, the art police is here." Adam then wrote, "By the way, I'm not an artist, I sing in a band and I make music with my friends." He also went on to criticize her grammar on Twitter.
Loving this video far? Please hit that like button, it would really help us out.
And at number 7, Ariana Grande and Victoria Justice. These ladies have allegedly been feuding since they were teens, filming Nickelodeon's Victorious. The most notable moment that alluded to a feud happened during an interview with the 4 female leads of Victorious, which featured Grande, Justice, Liz Gillies, and Daniela Monet. During the Popstar magazine interview video, the cast members played a game, but they said things about one another that fans might not know. During this interview, Gillies gushed about Grande's singing voice, telling the publication, quote, "She sings everything, and it's a good thing because she has a beautiful voice, but it's awesome. She sings absolutely everything, she never stops." When other members of the cast agreed, Justice looked annoyed and interrupted the conversation by saying, quote, "I think we all sing a lot," while appearing to roll her eyes, which is obviously downplaying the compliment that was supposed to be for Ariana. Years later, Ariana threw some more shade by claiming Victorious ended because one girl did not want to do it anymore. She instead wanted a solo tour, and since Justice went on a solo tour after the show ended, it was clearly about her. However, both women claim there is no beef, although many don't believe it. And at number 6, Abhishek Chatterjee and Nick Lachey. This is a strange one, but the Love is Blind cast member Shake got in a feud with the host of the show, Nick Lachey. Shake got in trouble for focusing too much on the appearance of his partner and claiming that he was not attracted to her. Things got heated at the reunion when Shake said attraction was about, quote, nature, and saying that they're animals. Lachey fired back at the veterinarian saying, quote, "No, you treat animals. We're human beings. There's a big difference." Shake then slammed Nick in a post on Instagram, writing, quote, "You put a doctor on the show, of course you're going to see some critical thinking. Speaking of which, Nick Lachey, you're a massive for your comment dragging vets. You do realize that becoming a veterinarian is considerably more difficult than becoming a human doctor, right? He also slammed the host for not being impartial like a host should be. Halfway number 5, Chloe Grace Moretz and Khloe and Kim Kardashian. During Kim and Kanye's 2016 feud with Taylor Swift, Chloe Grace Moretz got involved and Khloe Kardashian took a nasty low blow. After Kim released a video on Snapchat of Kanye West discussing his famous song with Taylor, Chloe Grace Moretz tweeted to defend Swift from the accusation that she lied about not knowing about the song before it was released. Moretz said, quote, "Stop wasting your voice on something so petulant and unimportant. Everyone in this industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around to realize what's actually happening in the real world." Then Khloe Kardashian jumped in to defend her sister Kim, tweeting back, quote, "Is this the hole you're referring to? Chloe Grace Moretz." Then adding a picture that seemingly showed Moretz's bare. Moretz clapped back that the girl in the photo was not her, and tons of celebrities came to Moretz's defense against this nasty clapback. Kim also tweeted that nobody had any idea who Chloe Grace Moretz was. Yikes. In at number 4, Nicki Minaj and Miley Cyrus. Nicki Minaj had everyone on edge when she took the time during her 2015 VMA acceptance speech to call out host Miley Cyrus. The call out was because Miley made some negative comments about her in the press. While accepting the award for Best Hip Hop Video at the MTV VMAs, Nicki Minaj finished it off by saying, quote, "And now back to this bee that had a lot to say about me in the press the other day. Miley, what's good?" Miley actually handled it very well and quickly congratulated Nicki on the win and said the media twisted her words. Miley's original comments were relating to Nicki's feud with Taylor Swift. In that interview, Miley called out Nicki for not being very nice, which I guess she kind of proved at this award show. But can you imagine being called out live like that? Miley is my hero for settling it like a champ.
In at number 3, Gwyneth Paltrow versus Martha Stewart. When actress Gwyneth Paltrow released her lifestyle brand Goop, her once friend Martha Stewart did not care to support her. During an interview with Porter magazine in 2014, a full 6 years after Paltrow even started the company, I might add, Stewart had this to say: "She's a movie star. If she were confident in her acting, she wouldn't be trying to be Martha Stewart." Oh god. Martha's a savage, I don't care what you think. Luckily, Gwyneth didn't see her as a threat or even get offended by her comments. When being asked for a response to her statements, Paltrow said, "If I'm really honest, I'm so psyched that she sees us as competition." Although she did get in one little dig on Martha for releasing a recipe called jailbird cake, which kind of refers to Martha Stewart getting locked up in 2004. Oops. Or should I say, goops. In at number 2, William Shatner versus Gerge Takei. Beginning as castmates on the show Star Trek, these actors have had a feud going back as far as their days filming together. According to Gerge Takei, Shatner would often ignore him while simultaneously trying to be the center of attention. Weirdly enough, William Shatner continued this shocking feud by saying in an interview that Gerge didn't invite him to his wedding. In response to this, Takei said that he was invited and that whenever Shatner needs to promote a new show or something, he brings up this so-called controversy between them. In 2015 though, Gerge told the New York Times that there's no tension and that it's all coming from Bill. Now I saw this photo online and I thought, oh, good. They made up. They're friends now. They're smiling. He's reaching up for a hug. Nope. That's a photo from the roast of William Shatner. The only reason why these two would come together. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Donald Trump versus Rosie O'Donnell. The only thing shocking about this feud is just how public it was. Dating back to the early 2000s and peaking in 2011, this celebrity fight was just out there for everybody to like or retweet on Twitter. The craziest thing is that when Trump was running for president, his tweets against Rosie O'Donnell were being brought up in a Republican debate.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account
only Rosie O'Donnell.
I mean, can you believe he just said that? The entire audience just laughed hysterically, and that guy went on to become the president of the United States. Rosie O'Donnell did respond to his comments by simply saying, "Try explaining that to your kids." Good one. Not exactly a clapback, but I see your point.
And at number 10, Pete Davidson and Kanye West. So we all assumed that these two must hate each other, but we got confirmation of this when Kanye shared private screenshots between him and Pete on Instagram. After Kanye had attacked both Kim and Pete online for weeks now, Pete finally decided to stand up for himself and Kim and tried to talk to Kanye man to man about the situation. Leaked text showed Pete telling Kanye, quote, "Yo, it's Skeet. Can you please take a second and calm down? It's 8 a.m. It don't gotta be like this. Kim is literally the best best mother I've ever met. What she does for those kids is amazing and you're so effing lucky that she's your kid's mom. I've decided I'm not gonna let you treat us this way anymore and I'm done being quiet. Kanye then responded, oh, so you're using profanity now, where are you right now? Pete then pulled something nobody would have expected and responded by sharing a selfie of him in bed, then writing, in bed with your wife. It's clear that this feud is most likely only going to get messier until Kanye and Kim are officially divorced. In at number 9, Scott Disick and Kourtney Kardashian. Scott Disick was savagely exposed in 2021 for being a jealous ex. It was pretty clear to fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that Scott was never over Kourtney since their split, but it was made clear when private DMs leaked that showed that Scott was trashing Kourtney's new relationship with Travis Barker. After paparazzi photos showed Kourtney and Travis showing tons of PDL while on a trip to Italy, Scott DM'd Eunice Benjima, another one of Kourtney's ex-boyfriends who isn't even close with him or the family, and wrote, quote, yo, is this chick okay? Bro, like, what is this? In the middle of Italy? Clearly trying to initiate a conversation where they both trash Kourtney. But to everyone's surprise, even though it seems that Kourtney and Eunice ended things badly, Eunice did not trash Kourtney and he responded, quote, doesn't matter to me as long as she's happy. P.S. I ain't your bro. Eunice shared this whole conversation publicly, so it made things even more awkward between Scott and Kourtney. Shortly after this, Scott's girlfriend at the time, Amelia Hamlin, dumped him, and now Travis and Kourtney are madly in love and engaged. And at number 8, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick starred in the hit movie A Simple Favor together, and it's long been rumored that during the filming of that movie, the women hated each other. The feud was so bad that the studio executives had to get involved and mediate the tension between the women. In a TikTok, the page Celebrity Memoir Book Club claimed that when filming wrapped on the movie, Lively and Kendrick were not speaking. Adding, quote, they were basically enemies and their press tours had to be booked separately. The page even shared a private DM they received showing a studio exec at Lionsgate confirming basically everything the previous post said. This DM read, quote, they hated each other. The studio even had to have a talk with them about making it look like they liked each other on press tours because it was starting to get obvious. Anna in particular was really competitive with Blake and was constantly asking to make sure she got more promotion than Blake, and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in the Simple Favor poster to be as big or bigger than Blake's. So from this comment, it seems that Anna Kendrick might have been the reason for this feud, but either way, it was nasty.
Speaking of people that needed to calm down, in at number 7, Drake versus Chris Brown. Too much alcohol combined with two celebrities that didn't really like each other is a recipe for disaster. Add in their respective security/entourage teams and that leads to mayhem plus a new feud in the world of hip-hop. Although the world star worthy footage is difficult to find, the photos are wild to see. At a nightclub in Manhattan, Chris sent Drake a $2,000 bottle of champagne, and because Champagne Poppy was feeling cheeky, he sent it back to the table with a note taunting Chris about how he's still hooking up with Rihanna. What? By the way, if I was his friend, I'd be like, you shouldn't do that. Just don't do that. Bystanders at the club then got to witness bottles being thrown between the two VIP areas that soon descended into an all-out brawl. Brown even posted this photo later on showing a massive gash on his chin from the fight. Luckily, they both came to their senses later on and realized that a girl is never worth losing a friendship over, especially one as powerful as Drizzy and Breezy. Is it Breezy? Am I getting that right? And at number 6, Axl Rose versus Tommy Hilfiger. Who could have ever pictured the scenario going down? If you can't tell who the man with the red dreads and the brown jacket is, that's Axl Rose. Like, lead singer of Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose. And the man that he's screaming at in the pink shirt is fashion icon Tommy Hilfiger. Both of them were in a VIP area at the Plum nightclub in NYC for Rosario Dawson's birthday. According to Dawson, Axl accidentally grabbed Tommy Hilfiger's drink by mistake, so Hilfiger started slapping him, I guess, on the arm and then eventually in the face, telling him to give the drink back. Apparently he was really angry, like so much that people there described him as foaming at the mouth. Eventually the club's security dragged him out of the club as Axl Rose would go on to perform later that same night. Funny enough though, he added fuel to the feud by playing and dedicating the song You're Crazy to his good friend Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy said that he only threw the first punch because he was scared that Axl was going to throw the first punch. Now years later, the two have made amends and ended up being close friends. In at number 5, Bill Murray versus Chevy Chase. Little did fans of these two know, but the movie Caddyshack is what ended the long-time shocking feud these two SNL alumni had with each other. When SNL premiered in 1975, it gave life to Chevy Chase's career. At the time, he both wrote and acted in the sketches on the show. However, right in the middle of the second season, he decided to jump ship and do bigger things. Because of that, Bill Murray came in as his replacement. During the early days as well, these comedians were very competitive with one another because the way to get more screen time was to be writing the funniest sketches and putting yourself in those sketches. So when Chevy left, the rest rest of the cast felt bitter upon him coming back to his roots and hosting the show and just getting all of this star treatment. And apparently behind the scenes, Murray called Chevy a medium talent, which resulted in some punches being thrown. Cast member Lorraine Newman called the whole feud just plain ugly. Although, as I mentioned, once starring in Caddyshack together, they were able to work out their differences. In at number 4, Prince versus Sinead O'Connor. When Irish singer Sinead O'Connor released her song Nothing Compares to You, it won a ton of awards and instantly became an international hit. The reason this feud with Prince started, though, was because Prince was the one who had actually written the song. Sinead had technically covered the song but never asked for permission. Apparently Prince had released that song on a side project for the sole purpose of it one day being used to boost a protege's career. However, that idea was crushed when Sinead O'Connor just swooped in and took it. Prince actually reached out to her so that they could discuss the matter, but according to the people that were there that day, it did not go over well. Prince, I guess, started throwing punches at Sinead O'Connor, and then she spat on him a bunch of times, and they just never were able to agree that she stole the song.
Number 3, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. So the tension between the rappers Cardi B and Nicki Minaj has been ongoing since 2017, with multiple disses, tweets, and general misunderstandings and miscommunications, aided by media narratives pitting the two women against each other. The feud eventually escalated into a physical altercation in 2018 at Harper Bazaar, New York Fashion Week event. Photos and videos of the incident show Cardi B being escorted out of the party barefoot with a sizable bump on her forehead, most likely caused by Nicki Minaj's security team who intervened when Cardi B threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj. The apparent incident that the two collided over was because Nicki decided to insult Cardi's parenting skills. After the clash, Cardi took to Instagram and said she let a lot slide, and because of the result of her interaction with Nicki, she had been questioning her capabilities as a mother. Nicki later came forward on her own radio show and threw shade at Cardi by saying, "Someone get this woman some help." Cardi then went to her Instagram to debunk Nicki's story.
Number 2, Jennifer Lopez and Mariah Carey. These two have been at each other's throats since the early 2000s. In fact, most people remember the iconic line that Mariah told a reporter when she said, "I don't know her." Although it sounds hilarious, Mariah has maintained her negative opinion of J-Lo all these years. For instance, she was once asked what she thought about Beyonce and J-Lo, and she responded by saying that they don't even belong in the same category. She said, "Well, it's hard. You can't really put those two people in the same category because one is in a really different generation. They just started singing later. But when you talk about Beyonce, I think she's wonderful. She's great. She's a talented person." But it seemed like she forgot to compliment J-Lo as well. A few years later, Mariah spoke to Andy Cohen and doubled down on her comments, saying, "I don't know her. What am I supposed to say?" So it looks like it'll take a miracle for these two iconic performers to ever be on good terms.
Number 1, we have Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. Now, the pair have been frenemies for quite some time now. With the two of them often being pitted against each other in the tabloids, their feuds can get pretty messy when on full display for the world to see. The two were known to be best friends until 2006 when Lindsay was captured in a series of photos with Paris's ex-boyfriend. Paris was then captured in a video with her friend Brandon Davis, and you could hear the two making fun of Lindsay's career and body. Lindsay would then speak to Elle and say she would never fight with a woman over a guy because it's bad karma. By November of that year, the two seemed to have put their differences aside as they were captured in a picture on a girls' night out with Britney Spears. However, in 2018, Paris would shade Lindsay by saying the photo the paparazzi captured of the three girls in 2006 was just supposed to be a girls' night with her and Britney, and Lindsay chased after them to get in the car. Even today, the stars continue to bring up old beef with each other, and it's gotten to the point where enough is enough and the two just need to put their past in the past.